Hello, welcome to the Utah Monthly Market Report, where the number of added listings is way down, but the number of active listings is up because homes are taking longer to sell. The Feds met yesterday and raised rates again, and the media is absolutely loving their doomsday reporting. But what's actually happening in Utah right now? Let's take a look at the stats. I'm Micah Olson. I've been a licensed real estate agent in Utah for well over 20 years, and I'm happy to bring you this market report. First off, let's take a look at the Feds. Our wonderful Feds met yesterday and decided that even though the economy is showing signs of a recession, they figure it's a good idea to raise rates again and to hint that they're going to do the same thing next time. Luckily, they only raised rates about a quarter of a point, which is the lowest increase in almost a year. Thank goodness, because over the last year, the Feds have raised rates at the fastest pace since the 1980s. You can kind of see in this graph how nuts we went then. Rates have been incredibly low for quite a while, and then here's our 0.25% increase. However, interest rates, specifically mortgage rates, are acting kind of like a petulant child and refusing to do what the federal government is wanting to do. With the federal government raising rates, if we take a zoomed in look here at what mortgage rates are doing, we can see that in September, October, November, rates were going up, and then stubbornly decided to start coming back down in December, bumped up just a little bit right at the end of December, enough to give buyers another scare. And then despite what the Feds have been doing, rates have been coming down and dropped a little bit more yesterday. So average national rate right now, right around 6%, just a little bit higher, but refusing to play games like the Feds have historically liked to do, thank goodness. On that note, if we want to look at an average historical rate, if we get rid of the 1980s where we were almost up to 20%, we take that section out, the historical rate is actually right around 6%, in the sixes. Let's jump over and take a look at some real estate Utah-specific real estate stats here so that we can see what's happening, because there's some very interesting trends that we're kind of seeing. First off, the number of residential listings entered. Now, this is not how many listings are active on the market right now. This is how many new listings were entered into the market. You can see right now that we are at an all-time low. But if we go down and take a look at active listings, the number of active listings is higher than what it has been for the last several years. If there's fewer new listings being added, but more listings on the market, what that means is it's taking longer for listings to actually sell. And we're seeing that in the real estate market. Properties that a year and a half ago would have had multiple offers within 3 days are sitting for a month, sometimes a little bit longer than a month. Right now, if we look at the number of active listings, 7588, and we go down to the number of listings that are selling, 1861, that puts us at just over a 4-month supply. So if it was not for interest rates, we are still technically in a seller's market. Problem being, interest rates are high, so a lot of buyers are hesitant to enter the market, and it's slowing down offers. What that could mean, all of the buyers that are on the fence right now, wondering if it's a good time to buy, wanting to be in a different home, but not loving the interest rates, if interest rates come down and inventory is still low, we could solidly end up back in a seller's market again. But before we get excited about that, let's take a look at specific Utah economy numbers. A couple of things that they're saying, overall consumer prices steadily increased. Yeah, things are expensive. However, interest rate increases have slowed the housing and construction markets. So supply is down, but housing affordability remains a concern. It's going to be really hard to fix the housing affordability numbers if we don't have properties on the market. And what they're alluding to here is supply and demand. If supply is low, prices will be high if demand is high. And we could end up seeing this as we look at some of the next numbers here. I'm going to skip all of these numbers and facts and tables and go right to the graphic. The median probability of a Utah recession in 2023 is 30%. That sounds high. However, if you look at the median probability of a US recession in 2023, they're at 60%. So Utah is doing quite a bit better than what the predictions are for the nation as a whole. One of the reasons for that, if you take a look, now this is a nationwide number, but we'll talk about the job market in Utah in just a little bit, because Utah is doing far better than the rest of the country as far as jobs and earnings. Americans have more money in the bank, far more money in the bank than what they had in 2007 to 2009. And if we look historically, quite a bit more money than historically we have ever had in the bank. That means people are saving money and are in a stronger financial position right now than we have ever been historically, despite high energy costs and high consumer goods costs. If we slide back up here and look at the post-pandemic job recovery, Utah was number 2 in the nation, only behind Idaho, and I'm sure somehow Idaho cheated on this report. But Utah was number 2 in the nation for post-pandemic job recovery. Our unemployment rates were in the low 2s or even sometimes the high 1s, which is unbelievable. In fact, they talked about how that actually slowed Utah's economy because corporations could not find enough employees to fill the positions and to fill the consumer demand that they have. So Utah's unemployment is low, our job recovery is high, and our savings and disposable cash is higher than it has ever been historically. Now, crystal ball time again. If rates come down and inventory, number of homes that are listed in the market stays, we could be looking at a lot of buyers jumping off the fence and starting to buy houses. Utah has low housing inventory, and we could get back to a point where we are seeing a limited number of homes that a lot of buyers want to buy. It will all depend on interest rates. And like I mentioned earlier, the Fed is talking about raising rates again. However, that does not necessarily mean that mortgage rates will go up. So we will keep an eye on this and bring you another Utah monthly market report in March. Looking forward to it, and we will see you soon.